What's going on? Welcome to the 411 podcast. Monday. Wow, it's the 2nd of May. Welcome on in. We got a good show tonight. We have life coach, self-help, Miss Carnisha coming in the building tonight. Tag your friends. Let them know what's going on inside the 411 podcast. If you're on Facebook, I want to say what's up to everybody out there on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, DLive, Twitch. Very special thank you to the people who have been watching on YouTube as well. Go ahead and subscribe. Again, like, comment, share, tag your friends, let them know what's going on inside the 411 podcast. So we're going to get right on into the song of the day. And I have a question for y'all. Anybody out there tired of going back and forth? I don't know who you going back and forth with. Maybe you going back and forth with yourself. Listen, I'm taking it back to 1994. Aaliyah, Back and Forth. Age ain't nothing but a number. But listen, I know that the song is not intended the way that I'm using it tonight. But of course, this is what we do here on the 411 podcast. We go ahead and remix it and we rewind it. Back and forth. Is there a point in your life where you tired of going back and forth? I don't care who it's with. I don't care what you got going on. But are you tired of going back and forth, whether it's with yourself, whether it's with people around you? That's it. I don't even need to say anymore. Rest in peace, Aaliyah. Remember this joint when it first came out. Remember the whole entire Age Ain't Nothing But a Number album when it came out, 1994. Don't go back and forth. Just don't do it. Don't go back and forth. It ain't even worth it. At the end of the day, you will realize that it's just not even worth it. Now I want to give a very, very special shout out to the people who continue to support, people who out there like, comment, share. I just want to say thank you so much for checking me out. Mr. Danny Lopez came through on freestyle sessions all the way from Belgium. I want to say thank you for coming through. Had a great time, great conversation. Love catching up with you. Love the support that you continue to give the 411 podcast. Dope DJ all the way from Belgium. Y'all go ahead and check out radio personality, Mr. Danny Lopez. Also, Jason T. Davis from California and Mr. Alex Coquito. Alex Coquito is from Puerto Rico and he has a show called Midnight Vibes. And I am truly blessed to be the co-host of that creation right there. Alex Coquito on YouTube. Y'all go ahead and check him out. What's going on, Will? How are you doing? Go ahead and check him out on YouTube. Also, Genesis, Shanti Refuge, author Irene Hill. I just saw Will out there. I want to say what's up. Also, Onyx Blade, New York is in the house. Danny from My Survivor Voice podcast. Y'all go ahead and check out My Survivor Voice podcast. And Danny, I just want to say thank you so much for always coming through. Ever since we met, everything has just been, on point and very consistent, shall I say. Facebook people out there, what's going on? Just want to say thank you. A couple people who came through on Facebook that I appreciate. Noreen Owens. Not sure if you're out there or if you're going to be watching this replay, but I just want to say what's going on. What's going on, Miss Bethany? Bethany Trent is out there from California, and also Chris Van Ree. Chris Van Ree, thank you so much for supporting. All right, so now it comes time for us to go ahead and rewind this thing. So I gotta ask you, so funny, because there's so many different responses here. But is it easy for you to get on with someone who you know really doesn't care for you? Sometimes it happens, whether it's a business relationship. It might even be a friendship that started off one way and now is ending in another. It might even be a relationship that you might be in, a romantic relationship. I've seen it where sometimes the person that you with, they hate you more than everybody else in the world. Like, how is it that we were lovers at one point, we loved each other, and now you can't stand me just as worse as my own worst enemy out there? So, is it easy for you to get along with someone who really doesn't care for you? Some people say yeah. Some people say no. I just can't. I just got to show them and tell them exactly who I am. I used to be like that, where I had to let you know that I know. Always had to be that one. But then there's certain things that I think about. Things like killing with kindness. We've heard that before. What about keep your enemies closer? Mm, like that one is interesting. And what about turning the other cheek? The one that I really like is keep your enemies closer, because if they close to you, right, you get an opportunity to see what they doing, and you can check every move that they got going on. That's the reason why I like that one. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the 411 podcast. Now, after you get past all of that, since we're gonna go deep tonight, we got Miss Carnisha coming in the building, life coach. I'm gonna call her the self-help guru. We're getting ready to bring her up in a minute, but do you believe people these days? After you figure it out, and you're all right, you a friend, you a foe, it is what it is, right? When people show you who they are, when people tell you out of their own mouth, sometimes all you got to do is just zip it a little bit. When you first meet people, don't be the one to always have to run off at the mouth. Listen and learn. But when people show you who they are, maybe they tell you who they are right out their mouth, do you believe them? Now, when you believe, it's very simple. You got to remain just the way it was from the beginning. You got to remain and you got to stay on point, and you got to make sure that you ain't trying to change anybody. Because if you remain and you stay on point and you ain't trying to change anybody, then that means that you believe this situation. You don't have any belief when you're trying to get involved with it, when you're trying to switch it, when you try to change it. So now when people show you or tell you who they are, do you believe them? And if you believe them, you're going to remain just as who you are from the first day that you met them. You're going to stay very calm in a situation, and you're just going to let it flow. That's how you know you believe them. Whatever they say, it is what it is. It's just reality, because this is what you're kicking. This is what you're giving me. However, you don't believe. When you sit back and you say, I don't like this about this person. I don't like this about that person. And let me get involved and give you my opinion, or try to go ahead and change the situation, or manipulate, or try to mold, or try to shape, or put my input in it. This is what I think, and this is what I feel. So, when you meet people these days, do you really believe them? Whatever they say about themselves, whatever they show you when they first bring up that representation of them, do you believe them these days? And my thing is, after being somebody who never believed anything, I always had to get involved and change everything and do things the way I wanted to do it. I believe everything that you say. Trust and believe that I believe you. I believe it. It is what it is. If that's what you say and that's what you want to do, you go right ahead. However, guess what? I don't got to involve myself in a situation if I don't want to. I believe you. Listen, hey, that's what you got. Good. Cool. I believe you're going to do exactly what you say you're going to do. And I ain't going to try to change anything. I ain't going to try to manipulate anything. I'm just going to sit back and say, listen, I got you. Remember, believe who people tell you they are the first time around, not the second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth. You believe people straight up from the first time that they speak out of their mouths and tell you who they are. And sometimes actions will let you know who they are. You don't always got to ask or fish or ask for any information. If you remain loyal and you remain true to yourself, people will sing a lullaby about themselves. So listen, we get ready to get on into it. Let's reach out to Carnisha, special guest tonight. Thank you all so much for coming in on the 411 podcast. Tag your friends, let them know what's going on.
Hello.
What's going on? Welcome to the 411.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, I'm calling you the self-help guru tonight.
I will take it. I like that title.
So, you know the saying, Maya Angelou, when people show you who they are, believe them. I'm sure you've heard that before.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Many, many times.
So, even though we've heard that before, sometimes we could be a little hard headed and we don't listen, and then we go and we get smacked up or beat up or whatever. But I don't know where you're at in your life. I don't know your whole full story, but do you believe people these days?
So, if we're being honest today, I would have to say sometimes I don't. I'm really nice, and sometimes it takes a few times for me to learn. So, I'm more in the fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. And I guess I would ask, fool me 3 times and I need my butt kicked.
Oh,
I get there sometimes.
oh, hell no. No, no. Listen, go through. Well, we won't get into the burning question tonight, but after you have had some experiences, you learn how to just, all right, I got you. I believe you. And I'm going to keep myself right here. You stay over there. I'm good over here.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Always a work in progress. I'm working.
Listen, when we get to this burning question tonight, I don't think you can go through that too many more times. Like sometimes it's a once in a lifetime. Sometimes some people hit it a couple times, but mm, I
Absolutely.
couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Won't do it. So, where are you calling from tonight?
Yeah, so I'm actually in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Okay. So, can you share some of your experiences living in that area?
Sure. If I share my experiences, it will probably be living all over.
Mm-hmm.
I like to call myself the wandering coach, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That's my hometown.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll probably tell you a little later about how I got back here. But I've lived in Houston, Orlando, Oklahoma, DC, and Florida. So,
Mm.
you know,
And out
I
of
like to move around.
And out of all of those, you love where you're at now.
No, sir.
Okay, so what was one of your favorite places to live?
Um, One of my favorite places to live would be Houston, probably.
Okay.
I made some really deep connections. The people are warm and friendly, and it's just really close to what I'm used to from my hometown here in Baton
Okay. Never been to Texas before. I'm looking forward to going there one day.
Rouge. You should.
So, great things to eat where you're at now, because I know you got some good food.
Definitely. That's all we do is eat here. I am currently trying to perfect my jambalaya. So I'm getting better and better every day. I just really love to cook, as a lot of Southern women do.
Okay. All right. We have life coach Miss Carnisha in the building tonight. So I've always asked this when people come on and they say that they're a life coach. That means that you have been through something, I believe. Is that the case with you?
Absolutely. And I started off, if you don't mind me going ahead and just jumping into it.
Yeah.
Uh, so I like to say, a woman's empowerment and success strategist because I got tired of growing up, especially in the South. People always told you like what you should be, or there were things expected of you, and I kind of always rebelled that.
Well,
From
I,
me living in 5 different states in 2 years and things like that. Sorry, go ahead.
I just want to tell you that I know you said the South, but hell, seems like that's everywhere. Um, everybody deals certain households. I'll put it that way. But go ahead, carry on.
Yes, it is really relevant, not only in the South, but in our Black community as well.
Mm.
I know other people experience it, but it just seems uh, really, really strict in our community. So they said I was smart, so I went to college, and then I had a good quote unquote state job that I should have stayed at. I bought a house because I was supposed to. You know what I'm saying? So I did all these things that I was supposed to, and I found myself unhappy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Oh.
yeah, that led me to kind of defining success the way I wanted to, and to be like, culturally this could be correct, and in my family this could be correct, but I want to quit my job and move to another state, so that's what I'm gonna do. I haven't looked back since.
Mm. Listen, and I know that that sounds absolutely wonderful because there are some times where I just want to bounce around and move everywhere. I would never stay put if I had my choice. I'd be in a different place like every year. But do you think that the person who has lots, that is success and happiness for them, or are you the type of person that less is more?
Um, I kind of think more is more.
Okay.
I am not a minimalist at all. I am a chronic overpacker, overthinker, all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
So I do believe in more is more. And, uh, you know, if you choose to believe in a minimalist lifestyle, then I say go for it and do you. But that's not for me.
I love the realness that you are giving us tonight. Because on the flip side of it, I guess I will be the other side. I have had everything jam packed. I've had stuff shoved so far that you couldn't even put it anywhere else in there. Drawers jam packed, closets pulling over. I mean, I could have opened up a shop and sold things 10 times over. So today, I do believe in a minimalist lifestyle. I will donate something, I will get rid of something today quicker than I've ever done in any time because I used to be a little stingy with things, stingy with myself, stingy with money, stingy with a lot of different things. So once I got something, I said it was mine, and that was absolutely it. So I was just curious to see where you stand when it comes to that.
But question, when you went through that time period, do
Hmm.
you regret being like that? Or do you
Oh,
think you got
absolutely.
to where you are because you went through
Oh, well, that's a good point. I mean, when I think back about it,
that?
do I regret being like that? Yeah, I wish I had given away a lot of things, and there was a lot of experiences that were jacked up that I wish that we could redo over again. But to your point, had I not gone through those things, then I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So I get you.
I'm not coaching right now. I'm not on the clock. But I just
Yeah.
wanted to point out a few things. Like, I think there are different seasons in life, right?
Hmm.
And we
Hmm.
have to kind of accept them for what they are, and take the lessons and move on.
Yeah. I used to stay stuck. Forget about you're not coaching tonight. You're coaching tonight. I used to
I
stay.
just took a sip of water. Oh,
Yeah, I used
choking
to
me tonight. Okay.
I used to stay stuck, right? I used to always go back and reminisce and think about all of the things that I've been through and try to, in my mind, say, well, what if I had done it this way? What if I done it that way? And living that way kept me very unhappy for a very long time. So I tell people today, anybody listening, anybody watching, sometimes, yes, it's okay to go back and play those records, but the ones that are skipping, the ones that are broken, chipped, you really got to get rid of those and take it off and dust it off and put a new record on. Don't keep letting the same thing spin over and over and over again because you remain stuck.
Absolutely. You can listen to it, you can reminisce about it, but don't remain there. So, like you said, if the record's broken, if it's stuck on repeat, it's time to get rid of that record. Buy you a new one. I know you're a minimalist. Buy a new one and let's move on.
Here's the flip side about being a minimalist because before, I used to, like I said, stingy with money and all that stuff. Once I got it, it's mine. I got to keep it. And so I used to be like that. Good side about being a minimalist. What's going on, Mr. Will? I see you out there. Good thing about being a minimalist is that when it comes time to spend, oh, you can spend because you know you need it. You ain't just spending money just to be stupid. You know what I'm saying? So if I want to buy something and I want to treat myself, I really do it the right way now. Whether that's
Well, that's good.
you ain't feeling a minimalist lifestyle, but
I can't. I tried. Let me tell you, I went to Charlotte about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I was there for I think 4 or 5 days.
mm-hmm.
I had 2 50-pound suitcases, but I like to be prepared.
Wait. Okay. Say it again.
I went to Charlotte a few weeks ago, and I fly Southwest. I like Southwest. So I had 2 almost 50-pound suitcases with me for my 5 day trip.
That's I ain't gonna say nothing. I was gonna say my opinion, but I'm not.
I like to be prepared. You can't catch me off guard. That's how I feel. I think eventually I'll grow out of that, maybe. But right now, listen, I'm gonna have everything I need. But my friends that travel with me, right? They'll talk about me, but then they're like, "Oh, Carnisha, do you have some alcohol pads?" "Oh, yes, I do." "Carnisha, do you have the most random things?" And I'm like, "Well, yes, I have all of those things." So you can talk about me if you want to, but I'm ready.
I don't know. I used to have like the largest suitcase, and I would have like 3 pairs of shoes in there, 2 coats. Like I would be able to switch different outfits 2 and 3 times a day. It was crazy, and that is embarrassing when it takes a couple people to lift up your suitcase because it's so heavy.
I can lift my suitcase up. Listen, I work out. I'm like, okay, if this is your baggage, you have to be able to carry your own baggage, right? So in life, in the airport, so I can maneuver with all my baggage. I make sure it's never too heavy for me to carry.
Ooh, I like that. So baggage, right? For those of you out there, no, for those of you out there, hey, what's going on, Ty? Baggage is a song by Mary J. Blige. I'm a huge Mary J. Blige song, and that song is about like making sure that you are not putting on that baggage on somebody else. You know that you got it. You know it ain't right, and you know that it's not the other person's responsibility. So I like the fact that you said you have to carry your own baggage, and that is so true. Like you got to carry it. That's your business. That ain't nobody else's, right? And when it comes to friendships, when it comes to personal things and the experiences that you have with other people, that is not their responsibility to carry your baggage. But if you feel that a lot of people are running from you and you have very little when it comes to your social circle and stuff like that. It could be because you were carrying so much baggage and you might be unloading that not knowing. Sometimes we unload baggage or try to have people hold stuff for us while we get it together and we don't know. So if you get tired of that and you want to change your life, then, it comes to getting rid of some of those bags, throwing some of that stuff off, releasing, maybe becoming a minimalist. I'm just saying, because when you have too much,
I'm with you. I understand one day it may happen. I'm open to it. I'm open to changing, and that's a part of growth, right?
yeah,
I'm not there yet. That's not my season. I'm in my season, and I'm happy with it. You know what I'm saying? So when it's time
hmm
for growth,
yeah.
I might, do 150 pounds in case instead of two.
Listen, listen to me trying to coach the life coach. See, it's just so
Right,
that's how it's gonna
right.
work.
I like it. I actually have a coach. I had two coaches. Now I have one, so I am used to it.
It's interesting because I do see myself being some sort of life coach in the future. I don't know when, how, 5 years from now, 10 years, who knows? I don't know, but um, it came to me at one point, but I was like, no, because all you are going to do is coach people how to be more jacked up like you are. So when you want to get to that point, you have to make sure that you're really ready to do it. So I would never stamp nothing, put myself on it until I know that I'm at the point where I could really, give it to somebody the right way. Because otherwise, you're going to have a whole bunch of people running around, just as jacked up as you are. Because you got to go through something. You got to go through life in order to teach somebody else about life. Like, you know,
Absolutely. And I think the main part too, because that's why I waited so long. But the main part is just understanding your strengths and weaknesses, right? So I cannot come on here and say I am a minimalist coach, a relationship coach, or even maybe a budgeting coach. I could kind of swing that one, but I know those aren't my strengths, right? So and every time I take on a new client, we have a consultation of 15 to 30 minutes and we kind of go over what your issues are. And if you in my same struggle boat, we don't think. So I need you not to be in my struggle boat because the truth
okay,
is no one's perfect,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I have my issues and I know, like relationships and budgeting. I believe in treating myself. I believe in all this. So if you're looking to get your financial situation in line, I'm not the coach for you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
So
hear you.
it's right because I believe in I pay my bills, I pay myself, and then I, splurge on what I want. And if you're really trying to follow, what is it like Susie Orman or Dave Ramsey, if you're trying to follow those, I'm not the person for you because I don't believe in that and I can't coach to that.
Dave Ramsey is real dope. You watch him or listen to him?
I've read articles and things about him,
Hmm
but that makes sense that you like him, right? Because he's a minimalist, I would think, from what I've read. So that totally makes sense that that is your preferred
Yeah.
financial guru.
All right. So we got it loud and clear. You ain't gonna be a minimalist. I got you.
Loud and clear. Right? Do I need to make a sign because I can? I'm
so
not there yet, but okay.
so I want to talk about this wonderful coloring book that you have. It's basically around affirmations, which is something that I truly do believe in because the person that you see here today is due to me speaking affirmations into myself because trust and believe that the person that I was, no one was speaking anything positive into me at all. And unfortunately, that is what I needed. But long story short, it wasn't even getting through at that point. So you have to get to a point where you speak it because you can have people around you, but if you're so jacked up and you can't even see straight, what's the point? They can speak over you and pray over you and say all types of things, but until you really get it together, you know, it's not really there.
Absolutely. Because anyone, if they want to speak affirmations into you, speak success and all those things to you, they can say that, but then they're going to go away. You're with yourself 24/7. So it's important for you to be able to pour into yourself first. When you wake up and you go in the mirror, you're pouring into yourself. You're saying, "Oh, I'm beautiful. Oh, this zit right here. You know, I'm beautiful even though I got this new zit right here," or all sorts of things. So I would say I am an affirmation junkie. So that's kind of where my coloring book came from. And if I could go a little bit more, so my grandmother, when I was younger, always said I would write a book. And she passed like in 2017-ish. That's when I feel like I was big on affirmations and things. So I kind of thought back to what I wanted to do that would support my brand. And I thought, hey, I'm all about women's empowerment. So, and I'm very pro our people. So I thought, let me make an affirmations coloring book for us. And it features, you know, images of Black women, and every single page has an affirmation like directed to us that I feel like I probably said to myself over and over. So it's like my book of affirmations to myself.
That's amazing. And then you can also color, which can be a source of meditation of some point. Wow. So what are some of the most powerful affirmations that, you know, are your favorite out of this book here? Maybe you can share. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I don't know if you can share.
Right. I thought you may ask that, but I still didn't prepare. And it's funny, the book in front of me I use as an icebreaker. So well, I've used that as an icebreaker. So people tear out their favorites, and we talk about it. But for me, just flipping around, and what we have talked about today is I am at peace with my past, right? So in order to be a full and whole person in the present, I have to say, hey, my past is my past. I made mistakes, but like we said earlier, I wouldn't be who I am today without every single one of those mistakes. I believe in everything in life is intentional. So yeah, I would say that's my favorite.
I'm really loving this because today, whenever something happens, I have to just remember to stay in the moment. And I remember there was a coach that told me, Laren, everything that happened in your life happened for a reason. There's no coincidence that you met this person. There's no coincidence that you married this person. No coincidence that you are where you're at right now in your life. Just remember that you are supposed to just live right in the moment, and everything happens for a reason. And it's so easier said than done because I listened to it in 2020. And honestly, I really didn't get it until, you know, this year, the beginning of this year. Like, all right, you really have got to get out of the way because there's no coincidence that this stuff happened. Like somebody stole your wife. Who cares? I mean, it's so crazy how I just all of a sudden I'm like, I got it. Like, who cares if that happened? Like, who cares that you got fired from your job? Like, everything happens for a reason. The minute that you get over it, there's always going to be something better, bigger, and better waiting on the other end.
And the moment that you get over it, you feel so much lighter, though. Like, you feel it's so freeing.
And the other thing also that helped me tie this whole thing together is that you can't control people, places, or things. I don't care what the situation may be. You're all the way over there in Louisiana. I'm all the way here in New Jersey. If there's something that's going on and I don't like what you got going on and vice versa, neither one of us can do anything about it. I don't care if I drive all the way there and tell you straight to your face that you are going to be a minimalist, right? If you don't want to be one, guess what that means? You ain't going to be it, and that's it. You might do it for 5 minutes in front of my face, and then when I turn my back, you're going to be out there shopping and you know, doing it up again. So you can't control people. Once you realize you can't control people, Like that's it.
And
Like,
then also, you can't control their reaction to you, right? So that's
mm-hmm,
probably been a big lesson for me because I'm such an overthinker. I think that's why I make a good coach because
mm-hmm,
I think of all the options for you. I'm
mm-hmm.
overthinking on your behalf.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah. I would tell you what I thought you were thinking, and that's crazy too because how you gonna tell somebody
mm-hmm,
how they feel or how they think on the inside? Are you them?
yes, yes, or getting upset because
Yeah,
they didn't react or think the way you thought they
absolutely,
should. Like,
absolutely.
no,
Yep.
Carnisha, this is they're their own person. They have their
Mm-hmm,
own reactions, and
mm-hmm.
they're allowed to feel them. So yeah, that's a big lesson too.
And now here's the other thing, which I know you ain't really feeling me on this, but maybe at one point when you do this replay, a couple of years from now, you'll get it. So we already talked about people, we talked about places, and let's talk about things because you don't control things. They're not yours. We're just experiencing this and we're just going through this in a moment. And the minute that you think that it's yours, just like that, you can get a car accident and it can be done. Just like that, your house can burn down. Just like that, you can lose your job. Just like that, you can be robbed. So you got to be very careful with trying to hold on to these possessions and being of a certain type of person because you don't. It ain't yours. Trust and believe it ain't yours. Once I learned that you
Absolutely.
can't control people, places, and things, man, I tied it all up. And then once you start living in the moment and just live day by day, and don't worry about what's going to happen, you know, 6 months from now, it's great to plan, but don't really put a stamp on it like, oh yeah, that's going to happen because it's never really worked out well for me. I'll tell you that.
Me neither. I can guarantee you, me neither.
And then when I tried to make it work, it was nothing but a lie. And that's a whole nother story
Mhm.
for another time.
That's next time. Next
Yeah.
time. Okay.
So go ahead and let everybody know where they can follow you at, where they can get your book, and any other great things that you got going on.
Sure. So you can follow me on Instagram at the Elevated Experiences, and my website is www.theelevatedexperiences.com. I do offer free 15 to 30-minute consultations to see if we're a good fit before I've taken you on as a client because I get really involved and really passionate about my clients.
Mm-hmm.
And if you aren't serious or if you don't want to pursue your goals, then I don't want to work with you because I'm passionate about your goals and you have to be passionate about them as well.
Mm.
So, and then my book, you can find it on Amazon. The link is in my bio and on my website, or you can search Amazon affirmations for Melanin Queens and they will pop up. It is a lovely, lovely book. She's my favorite. I'm obsessed. But yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, I like the fact that you do the consultation, and if it's not a match, then we're not even gonna mess with it because how disturbing, and I'm gonna use the word disturbing, and I know that that's very deep, but how disturbing is it for someone to pour into you when you don't even really want to pour into yourself? Like, I just don't see how that works. And when you've been there before, and people try to uplift you, and you know speak nice things about you, and you didn't even feel that. If you don't feel it about yourself, how you expect somebody else to feel it about you?
Absolutely. And I want to add life coaching is not therapy. So you have to weed out those people as well. I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
licensed therapist. If you're having some type of trauma that you're currently going through, then I'm not equipped to help you deal with that. If you're looking forward and you have some goals and situations that you want to do in the future, then sure, call me up and we can take a look at how your traumas how you can get around those obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't help you deal with your traumas and things like that. I'm not a licensed therapist.
Yeah, that's good. Good to know because somebody not knowing what a life coach is would be the first one to, make one of those simple phone calls that won't end well. So,
Right. I can't talk you off a ledge. I can I'm probably the person I want you to jump into your, into your best life, into your most elevated life. I'm not equipped to talk you off any kind of ledges or anything like that.
Yeah. All right. So now we are up to the point of the show where we're going to get into burning questions. And burning questions basically is a segment where I put my guest in a hot seat and I flip it. And typically the question has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But tonight it just makes sense and it just flowed so well. And the burning question that I have tonight is, what has been your experience with hitting rock bottom? Um, do you have anything you can share tonight as far as if this has even happened to you? And if it's not happened to you, maybe you have some experience as far as, with some people that you have worked with. Maybe there's a great story that you like to share. But what has been your experience with hitting rock bottom and what was it like climbing back up to the top?
Oh, I definitely have hit rock bottom, so no need to take from anyone else's stories. I do have a couple of situations, but most recently, in 2020, so excuse me, I might go a little dark for a second, but the light shines on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2020, I was publicly physically assaulted by a homeless man in Philly. Mm-hmm. And when I say it was during the daytime, and I was walking into my hotel, and he followed me inside of my hotel and physically jumped on me. And there were two men within my eyesight in that hotel lobby, and I was screaming. Well, first I stopped. I was stunned because I saw him walking towards me, but I did not see him walk up behind me. So I was shocked, and it just takes a moment. You're literally not in your body for a second. Mm-hmm. And then I came to, so to speak, and I just started screaming and help and stop and all these other things that you would think to scream. And these men who I can visibly see did not help me. No one came to help me. Mm-hmm. So in that moment, I was like, Carnisha, you got to put your big girl panties on. You got to save yourself. So what I managed to get away from him just by, fighting and stuff. And I actually ran away from him, and he chased me through the lobby, which sounds crazy story, but I promise you it happened. And he was circling me around the desk in the lobby. No one was there. And I just, looked, there was the elevator, and I was like, you're going to have to make a run for it. Like, no one's coming to save you. So all that to say, I learned that I have to save myself. I learned not to take my life for granted and to get up and do exactly what I wanted to do. Because in that time, the pandemic had just happened, and I was kind of really down during the pandemic. I was one of the people that had a hard time with it because I was living by myself, and I was away from my family. I was in the DC area. So it really took a toll on me emotionally. And that was the moment when I said, okay, you got to forget all this other stuff that's going on, the pandemic. That's something you can't control, right? Mm-hmm. So what are you going to do about it? So I just took some time and, kind of feeling defeated and stuff. But then I lived and I healed, and I decided to plan my life again, to do things that I left on the table in years past. So that's actually when I went and got my life coaching certification. A goal I've had since I was in middle school. I accomplished that as well, and a few other things. So I just got up and opened my eyes and said, you control your life, and you have the ability to save yourself, and physically and mentally and emotionally.
That is a powerful story, and I'm glad that everything is good now. But the key points that you made is, in that moment when you're in that fight, you have got to make that decision to say, I got to take care of myself, because I don't care who's around you. And I know that those gentlemen, what they're watching, these are some people, who could have done something. So everyone can learn from this story because it could be your spouse, it could be your best friend, it could be your coworkers, it could be a business partner, it could be whatever. Sometimes when the shit hits the fan and you in it and you in the thick of it, you can't always look around thinking that people gonna sit there and help you because sometimes they'll just sit there and watch and they'll join in with the crowd or they'll turn their back and do that 180 on you. And when you're in the moment, the most hurtful pieces of it is when you just want that person to go ahead and lean on it and help. And when it's moments like that, when you have someone just so close to you that you can't lean on and you can't help, that will teach you real quick to learn how to go ahead and take care of yourself. You can get smacked up a couple times before you realize that, oh, I've seen this before. I've lived long enough to see this. I know this game. I'm gonna have to take care of myself. That's one of the hardest lessons that I've had to learn is, man, stop worrying about these people. Take care of yourself.
Because they'll sit there and watch you fail. They'll watch you struggle. They'll have the ability to help you. And the not the funny thing, but the thing I kept going back when we talked about keep playing the record. I was like, this was a small guy. I'm thinking I'm fit, I'm tough. I'm thinking, oh, you could have took him. But when when the enemy comes from behind you and so does a surprise attack, it is so easy for them to overcome you. And if you need to take a moment, take a deep breath. You could look around because I probably could have got away quicker, but I expected, oh, it's the daytime. Oh, there are these two gentlemen here. They would protect me. They would save me. But I was wrong. And in that moment, I said, okay, Carnisha, you're saving yourself. Of course, they said stop. They said things like that, but they never came. I guess they were social distancing or something. They never came within maybe 10 or 15 feet of us, but they did say stop. I'll give them that. But what is that? Does that make yourself feel better that maybe you tried to save me by saying stop? People will do the minimum and think it's all they have to do, but if you're not fully going to be there for me, I don't need you to be there. I can take care
I
of
feel you on that one. I really do. Powerful words, Miss Kanisha, tonight. I want you to go ahead and let everybody know once again where they can follow you at, your website, let them know the whole nine. And then also, if you can leave us with some words before we go ahead and get out of here tonight.
Awesome. Yes. So again, you can reach me at The Elevated Experiences on Instagram, and my website is www.theelevatedexperiences.com, and there you can book a free 15 to 30-minute consultation. My book, Affirmations for Melanin Queens, my coloring book, is available on Amazon. You can find the links in my Instagram bio, Facebook profile, as well as my website. Or you could just search Affirmations for Melanin Queens on Amazon. So, what I want to leave you with tonight is it's okay not to be a minimalist if you can carry your own baggage.
I like that. I was thinking of something funny to say when it comes to minimalist too, but I like that. It is okay to be a minimalist, right? You said if you can carry your own baggage.
Yes, sir, I did.
Absolutely, it's true. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I do want to tell you that what a great conversation we had tonight. First time that I met you, knew nothing about you besides just looking at your page and the back and forth conversation that we had. And I wrote this show tonight, not knowing if this was going to flow, if it was going to make sense. And I had a conversation with someone, what was it, Saturday? They were asking me, how does this show work and how do you pick people? And honestly, I pick people 3, 6 months ahead of time and we just book it. And I don't speak to you again until the night of the show. like about an hour before. At that point, everything is already written, everything's already in place. And sometimes the show just makes sense and it vibes so well and it matches, and it's like you and I have been best friends for years. That's how you know that the experience is real and it was meant to happen, and it's like a supernatural experience that we're going through. And other times it's not so much, but I would say tonight, there is no coincidence that you and I met up and we had these great conversations, these great topics. It just flows so wonderful tonight.
Absolutely great job writing it, and thank you so much for having me. It was awesome. And can I go ahead and say this was my first podcast experience? So I'm very excited.
Yes, you have a very good voice too. So I would strongly urge you to continue to do more of things like this.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care now. If I'm in the area, I would definitely need you to show me around town and give me some of that good food.
Yes, or New Orleans. New Orleans is right there. Definitely look me up. You know how to contact me now.
All right, very good. Thank you so much, and you have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. You too.
Take care.
Bye bye.
All right, y'all. There you have it, Miss Carnisha in the building tonight. 411 podcast. Had a great time tonight. I want to say what's up to everybody out there. Some platforms I can't see you until after everything's done. So please just drop it in the comments and let me know. And of course, I will hit you up after the show is done. Thank you so much to people out there on Facebook. I appreciate you. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, D Live, Twitch. Also, you can get clips of the show on Daily Motion. Everything is at Laren Gain. So check me out on Daily Motion. Definitely check me out on YouTube. I love the experience that comes through on YouTube. And on that note, I'll see you tomorrow, 10 p.m. So I have Mr. Jacquees Washington coming in the building tomorrow. So that's going to be great. Fun. What's going on, D Live? I see my D Live family out there. That's what's up. Thank you so much for coming through tonight. And now I have to say thank you again. Once again, I have to say thank you. But of course, I have to say thanks to my executive producer, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, allowing me to come out here and give you the 411 podcast one more time in life. Now, if you would like to support, please go ahead and click that link above all my social media platforms. And I had list them: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, D Live, Twitch, Instagram. Go ahead and click that link above all of my social media platforms, and you can purchase my new book, Volume 1.5, Deliberation Remix Journal, a 30-day transformational journey towards a healthier mindset. So, the conversation that you got tonight, trust and believe that the person that I present before you tonight was not always this. It took me some time to go through some ups and downs, some peaks and valleys in order to get it right. And finally, yes, I hit rock bottom, and now I'm on my way, still climbing to the top. So you get some of the stories inside of my book. Volume 1.5, I tell you a little bit about my past, I tell you about the present, and then I start to look towards the future by telling myself who I am. And remember, at the end of the day, nobody gets to tell you who you are. You tell them who you are. Once you start living your life like that, things will just start to come together. Don't ever listen to what anybody has to say about you, because don't nobody know you like you know you. So tomorrow, Mr. Jacquees Washington, my friend, coming in, and we're going to have some great conversations, some great laughs, catching up. I believe this will be about his third time coming on the show. So on that note, I just want to say thank you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What's going on, Bronx, Vinyl Funk? Love that handle name. Love New York. Shout out to Brooklyn, Bronx. Just amazing experience when it comes to the whole music, and I love everything that you're doing out there. All right, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow, 10 p.m. Thank you so much. Have a good night.